and welcome to Saucy Cat. My name is Connor and it is winter, which means it's cold out a lot. Because of that, we've made a lot of different soups on this channel and I'd like to share with you 3 of my favorites. So let's dive in. First, a classic vegan tomato basil soup. We're going to start off with roughly chopping up a yellow onion and chopping up some carrots. Put a large pot on the stove, set it to medium-high, and add in some olive oil. Once it's hot, toss in your onion along with some minced garlic. Simmer for around 10 minutes until the onion starts to brown. Now add the carrots along with some vegetable broth, salt, pepper, basil, and 2 cans of crushed tomatoes. Also gonna add a couple shakes of red pepper flakes to give it a little bit of a kick. Cover with a lid to avoid a mess, turn the heat down to medium, and simmer together for 20 minutes, giving the occasional stir so nothing burns. Now that all the veggies are nice and tender, let's bust out our trusty blender. Carefully ladle the contents of your pot into the blender and blend until completely smooth. It's not all going to fit at once, so work in batches to ensure no clumps remain. Pour the finished batches into a pot and give it a good whisk so everything gets thoroughly combined. This is an adequate soup right here, but we're going to bring it to the next level. Going back to the blender, add 1 block of soft silken tofu. Just a minute of blending will turn that tofu into a thick liquid. Add the blended tofu into the soup and turn the heat back to medium-high. Stir occasionally for 10 minutes and you'll see the soup has a very creamy texture. Garnish with a shake of basil and let's plate this dish. Now, I can't have tomato basil soup without a nice grilled cheese sandwich. Our soup has such a creamy sweetness to it and all the flavors pair perfect together. This really is my favorite soup.
Next, let's warm up with a tofu noodle soup. Take a block of extra firm tofu and drain the excess water out. Then cut it into cubes and toss into a bowl with some soy sauce, salt, and pepper. Line it flat on a baking sheet and throw into a 350-degree oven for about 20 minutes until it is nice and crispy on the edges. Meanwhile, let's chop an onion into your desired soup size and grab a large pot. Set the stove to medium-high heat and drizzle in some olive oil. Once it's hot, throw in your onion along with some minced garlic, salt, and pepper. Sauté until the onion starts to char a bit, then pour in some veggie broth. Bring the broth to a simmer and add thyme, parsley, oregano, and maybe a little garlic and onion powder. Add 2 or 3 bay leaves and continue to simmer for 20 minutes. Let's grab another large pot and boil some water for our noodles. All I could find at our local grocery store were regular egg noodles, but you absolutely can change those out for a vegan variety. Add the noodles to the water and boil for about 3 minutes less than the recommended time. They'll finish cooking when we add them to the broth. Let's finish off all the big work by chopping up some carrots and celery. With 20 minutes up on our broth, add the veggies and simmer for another 10 or so minutes. Both our tofu and noodles are done, so strain out the noodles and dump everything into the broth. Let everything simmer together for a final 15 minutes. Do a couple taste tests and add more seasonings if you want. Now chop up some fresh parsley and let's plate this dish. Alright, this is heavy. There's no way I'm gonna hold it in front of you guys. This has such a deep, rich flavor and it's just so warming and it's perfect to dip your cheese sandwich into.
Finally, a quick and easy wild rice soup. Get your chopping arm ready because we gotta chop up some celery, carrots, potatoes, and an onion to your desired soup size. Grab a large pot and start heating up some olive oil. Now toss in your onions and cook them on medium-high heat until they're translucent or about 5 minutes. Now throw in your carrots and celery and let those flavors warm up together for about 5 minutes. Now add in some thyme, our chopped potatoes, wild rice, and veggie broth. Bring that to a boil and let it simmer covered for around 50 minutes to an hour. Wild rice is a little different than your standard white rice. It's a little more chewy, but that's what we're looking for. Once it's done simmering, take that off the heat and add in some almond milk. Give it a taste test to see if it needs any salt and pepper, and then let's bowl this dish. Oh, this is so nice and warm. Now, this is a fairly simple soup, but it totally gets the job done. All of our veggies pair together perfectly, and our rice gives it an amazing texture. Well, that is going to do it for today. I want to thank you so much for watching. Let me know what are some of your favorite soups in the comments down below. Like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time on Saucy Cat.